You will agree with me that the dynamics between the relationship with yourself and the relationship you have with someone else is different, right? Okay, so here's the thing. When you are relating with yourself, your time is in your full control, everything is in your control, you do things the way you want, you love yourself the way you deem fit, right? So, but on the flip side, if you want to be in a relationship with someone else, that's another human being in your space. So it brings about some frictions, right? And what I want to talk about is looking at how we should not bring our total self into the relationship, because nobody can take us as we are, and we can't take people as they are. So, what does this mean? It means that if you want to be in a relationship, if you decide to be in a relationship with someone else, it means you have to get rid of some of your excesses. In theory, you can say, oh, you get rid of all your excesses and all that. But no, in reality, we cannot totally get rid of all our excesses, but we have to get rid of some. It is important that our partners can see that we are working on it, or can see that there's a difference, right? Now, it's not that it's only the man that work on himself, or it's only the woman that work on himself, right? So it's the job of both parties. The problem starts from trying to run that relationship the way you relate with yourself alone. That's going to cause a lot of problem, and that's where issues stem from, and from simple things, and it becomes complicated. So if you do things your way, if you see things your way, everything, you have to change that perspective and try to figure out how you can include the other person into the relationship. What do I mean? If you want to make a decision, if you are single, or if you're just yourself, if you want to make a decision, definitely you are just going to make a decision. You look at the you look at what you have on ground and you make your decision. But if you want to make a decision and you're in a relationship, you have to include the partner. You have to include your partner. It's not something like you just make up your mind and wake up and do something when you're in a relationship. It's going to cause a lot of problems. It means that the other half, your other half, is not significant. It's just a figurehead. And because you want to be in a healthy relationship, doesn't mean that you should rid off yourself totally. That's not what I'm talking about. That doesn't make any sense. But as we are, our whole makeup, nobody can take it like that. Also, you cannot take people like that. So there has to be some sort of work that must be undertaken so that you can have a healthy relationship. I want this conversation to spiral into like a discussion where we have to discuss this issue, specifically how people try to run a relationship as though they are the only one in that relationship. It causes a lot of problem, and what is at the bottom of it is selfishness. If you are single, you can decide to be selfish. You can decide everything is to yourself. But once you are in a relationship, you cannot be selfish. If you have like 10 attributes, there are four that are extremely bad that no human can tolerate, then you have to shed it off. That's what I'm talking about. So instead of creating and causing problem for someone, or maybe you don't agree with what I've said so far, it is okay to be single and be yourself and just enjoy your privacy and all that. It's not a crime, you get it. But if you decide that you want to be in a relationship, you have to come to terms with the fact that there are some things that you will stop doing. The other person too, there are some things that he or she will stop doing. Then we can have a collaboration. Anything aside that, it cannot work. See you in my next video.